Welcome back to another episode of NewOrleans.Football presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from the Oshner MD Anderson Cancer Center podcast studio. And if you are in the market for a new car, check out my guy, Matt Bowers. One of his many locations. He'll get you right, get you in the car of your dreams, get you up and going at the best possible price. And if you want to celebrate your fandom beyond the field, Keesler Federal is proud to be the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints. They're a not-for-profit organization, meaning their members always come first. You can enjoy lower fees, better rates, and everything else Saints fans need to help you get one step closer to living your dreams. That's Keesler Federal, the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints. All right. Saints rounding out the week, getting ready to play the Patriots this weekend. See if they can take it out to 2 wins. I don't. They said in Major League that would be a winning streak. So I don't know if it's a winning streak at 2, but they said in the movie Major League
It
it
would
is.
it would double their win total. That's almost impossible. Only
It,
one-win teams can do that. No one else can do that.
that is true. That is true. Which brings us to our first topic presented by Aaron Rose. Can these Saints build off their Week 5 breakthrough? Going to go through some guys one at a time, kind of a buying or selling on the hype segment here. The first one, Kool-Aid McKinstry, 2 interceptions, pass breakup, key block on a fumble return, NFC Defensive Player of the
Yeah.
Week, and also the hard hide player of the game for New Orleans.Football.
I think you said those in the wrong order. And
Yeah,
if we're
yeah,
going importance.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Kool-Aid, you buying or selling the hype?
Man, I've run through the Kool-Aid's like 21 years old or something like that, and I already feel like I've lived through so many highs and lows. Like there was a point during training camp where he was competing for camp MVP, and I was considering him the most promising young player on the team and the most hope for the future. And then we saw a few warts early in the season when he was giving some stuff up. Even early in this game, he got pushed around by Theo Johnson and gave up a touchdown. And then he ends up as the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And I think it's just a reminder that, like, okay, this guy is young. There's going to be highs and lows, but it's awesome to see the upside. Because look, I did a story heading into the season. If you care about the Saints' future, these guys are the most important guys to watch. And I think he was like 4th on the list. So any growth, any development, any peak at his peak that we get is huge. I think we're still going to see bumps in the road. I think some guys are going to pick on him once in a while, but man, would it be awesome if he's going to be a 5-year, 10-year starter, maybe even a number 1 quarterback. And this was a reminder that he does have that potential.
Yeah, I'm buying. I mean, look, I think he's a guy that is he going to have 2 picks every week? No, he isn't. He's not going to finish the season with 30 interceptions, but I think he's somebody that can continue to build on things and keep playing well. I mean, look, we've seen some bright spots. I think you get him in some more advantageous situations. He'll probably look a little bit better. Let him settle in. Let him get a little momentum here. I'm encouraged by what we're seeing out of him. So yeah, I'll buy on the hype with him. Jonas Sanker.
It's hard not to. I mean, he is screaming, I am scared of overhyping him. I mean, we've done it so many times where such a small glimpse of someone looking so good, and he gets anointed right away. And obviously, I mean, he has to have some down moments at some point, especially as his role gets bigger and teams decide to pick on him a little more. But the way people talk about him behind the scenes, the way he's consistently shown up. I said my favorite thing that he did was he got caught in that deep downfield coverage, and we've seen that turn into a PI so many times. He turned his head perfectly, played the ball perfectly, and when I asked him about that, he was upset he didn't catch the ball. Like I think they definitely, there's no question that his value as their 2nd, 3rd round pick feels like they hit a home run value wise. But man, he feels like a real player.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm buying. Am I buying on the level that he might be the best player on their defense? I don't know. I mean, like it's certainly possible. I think that says more about the team than it does about Jonas Sanker. I think he'll probably have ups and downs at some point. I think at some point he's going to get caught, watching the backfield, and they're going to hit a play action pass over his head, and we're going to be reminded that he's a rookie in his first season in the NFL. But I think I'm definitely buying on him being a player, and I'm willing to buy. Look, it's super early, but I'm willing to buy on him being like a long term starter for this team. I just think what he does is believable, and yeah. So Yeah, I'm buying on that one for sure. Next one, Spencer Rattler. We talked about him for about 20 minutes yesterday or Wednesday. I don't know. We have to go all the way through the gauntlet
Yeah.
of the what if or whatnot or whatever. But are you buying the progress you're seeing from him?
Yeah, how can I not be, right? I mean, look, I don't know. We've had quarterback debates probably on the air, but just like in our private conversations about how much better a guy. You remember when Tom Brady fought with Colin Cowherd about Colin Cowherd said, "I know what Halloween of his second year or Thanksgiving of his second year, and then I know for sure if the guy's got it or not." But I believe that if you're a talented young quarterback, getting to play in games, is the best way to develop. And he's got what? He's got 11 under his belt now. His 5 this year looks so much better than his 5 next year. I think I think if he got a third year, he'd look so much better. I mean, I think he is. I don't know if he's the answer. I think if they ended up with a top 3 pick next year, you got to aim for the stars at that position. But I think I definitely believe that he's a guy that if he got a real chance, could be a legitimate NFL starter. I think he's exceeded my expectations early this season, and I'm buying that he can keep doing what we're seeing. I don't think what we've seen so far is any kind of a mirage.
I buy his progress. I buy the idea that he's gotten better in the pocket, gotten better at avoiding interceptions. I think there's still a lot left to see until we know
For
for
sure.
sure if he's actually a guy that you could win games with consistently. I think the red zone has to get better. You got to
No
you got to
question.
get a little bit more aggressive down the field. You got to hit. You got to be a little bit more accurate. Just avoiding risk completely. I think that's the next step for him is that he has to show that he can be a little bit more aggressive while also staying out of trouble. And I think that's going to be the big thing for him. And hopefully over these next 5 games, we see a little bit more push and a little bit, a little bit more willingness to risk. But I'm definitely buying on the progress that we've seen from him. He's somebody
Yep.
that has put himself into a conversation of can he be this? And entering the season, I didn't know. I had no idea, and I'm convinced now that he's at least somebody that is worthy of consideration. So I buy wholeheartedly. I want to
Yep.
see more. I buy on his potential to answer some of those questions too. I'm not ready to, I think that's a good place to be existing is that you aren't looking at that stuff and saying he can't do this stuff. I'm sitting here like, oh, okay, well, he did this and then he added this and now he's doing this better. So, okay, what's the next item on the list? Let's see if he can do it. I'm excited to see how it plays out for him.
You know what's really interesting? One thing that I don't think we really touched on yesterday when we were having this conversation about how much time is he going to get? Does he get the whole season? Do they have to put Tyler Shuck in at some point? What can he do to keep Tyler Shuck up? It. I wonder if Spencer Rattler will change the way he's playing because he feels that clock. Like I wonder if he'll start to be like, all right, now I have to start winning some games like to make sure they don't, or will he be like, this is working, I'm going to stick with it. I'm curious to see how he reacts to the pressure of, do I need to start throwing touchdowns? Do I need to start throwing it down the field? Because this sort of risk adverse, and then scramble for first downs, and it's working well for him. But will he feel the pressure to do more? I'm very curious if that becomes part of the path for him.
It could. I don't know. That's interesting because yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It could. I feel like he's under less pressure than I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like. I don't want to re-go through that. But like, I don't think there's pressure on him to that you have to go out and win games. I don't think that's how they're evaluating this. I don't. I don't think that's the thing. I think if it came to a point where he cost you a game, that becomes part of it. But I don't think
yeah,
they're saying, "Hey, Spencer, go win us this game." And when he doesn't, they're like, "Well, he couldn't do it, so he's done." I don't think that's where it exists. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyways, going on to Rashid Shaheed, the next one. Buying or selling?
yeah. I think based on what we just said, I think the first 4 games is more of a fluke. I mean, I think maybe breaking that seal and Spencer finding that shot and hitting that shot to him. I mean, we know they draw them up every week, and they're not always as wide open as they were last week when that play just worked beautifully, and it was a no brainer, no doubter. But look, this team knows how special that element of their offense is. Spencer Rattler knows how important it is to his ability to have success. Kellen Moore knows. I'll be surprised if we don't see this more regularly. That take the top off play in addition to the other things we've been seeing from Shaheed. So I'm buying that that's the beginning of getting back to the normal Rashid.
Yeah, the thing with Shaheed, and what I'll be interested to see, it's not the deep stuff. Like those are gonna come every now and then. I think it's the second one they hit this year. They had the 39-yarder too. So I think that'll be part of his game. I think the thing for him and what's gonna really like define what he makes in the future and all that, I think it's all the other stuff. And I don't think there's any doubt about his ability to go out on the outside and beat man coverage, but like that isn't necessarily nearly as important in football in 2025 as it was in 2020 or 2015 when that was the game. Like you're against man coverage every single play. You got to be able to beat it. You got to be able to make the big physical catch or whatever. The 2025 version of the NFL is like mostly against zone coverages. You got to be able to read those coverages. You got to make adjustments. You got to have catch and run opportunities. That's another thing for Rattler. He's got to get these guys in better position to make a play with their
Yeah.
feet. But I think it's all that other stuff. And there was, the slant that he hit to Shaheed. That like those are the plays that I think are more important for him as he goes out and looks to try to get that next contract, which could be sizable. And I think if he can do that stuff, like that definitely helps him. He's just got to show that growth there. I think we've seen signs of it. I buy on it. I just don't know that it's going to show up in the numbers here because
Yeah.
they aren't,
That's fair.
it's a 200-yard passing offense. So if you're getting 40 yards, that's 25% of the offense. Like that's a pretty decent number, but then you look at it and you're like, oh
Yeah.
wait, he only had 40 yards this week. It feels anemic, but I think he's making plays. I think the same's true for Olave too. Like he's
Yeah.
making plays. It's just not the volume
Yeah.
and the
No.
numbers
Yeah.
just aren't there. Yeah. Moving forward, Banks and Fuaga.
Yeah. I mean, I like the end result of the Giants front is one of the best fronts they're going to face this year, and there were 0 sacks against them. I like, I think that's going to be a boon to Banks' confidence. One of his more high profile matchups of the year, and he mostly held his own. But I'm even more high on Fuaga because I was kind of concerned when he had the injury issues a couple weeks ago, and he's been playing well. But I want to open this up to you because you did the film study and you study every single play. I don't think it was as like dominant or glorious as 0 sacks against that team. Those guys are still going to both be a work in progress, but I'm mostly encouraged. I said Kool-Aid was on that list of most important players on the team. Those guys are 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean tackles usually don't come into the league and pitch shutouts. It
Yeah.
takes time. Like it takes time for them to develop and get better. And the way that they have been playing offense is that they've been putting these guys on islands as much as anybody in the NFL. Like Banks is on an island as often as the world's best offensive tackle, Lane Johnson, which is crazy. And he's mostly holding his own. Like it's a very hard degree of difficulty. I think if you were giving these guys help the way that like Will Campbell's getting help from the Patriots, I think Banks would have like these PFF numbers and grades that would have people paying attention to a young
Interesting.
player on a bad team. But I think the degree of difficulty is up a little bit more. So like there's plays where he'll get beaten by the defender and it doesn't necessarily result in a sack, but it's still like a loss. But I think they're playing like awesome. I think when you look at them, it's two guys that I feel like, yeah, they got two building blocks here. Is it, how are you putting the I don't even know how the hell you build houses, but like, are you putting, making it the support beam going across that part of the foundation?
Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know where it's at on it. I think that's to be determined where they go from here, but I think they're absolutely part of it. I think they hit on both of them. I think they got two answers there. And yeah, I think they're playing pretty good.
What
Is
do you
it
make of this stat that I just saw it again on social media today? And now Fuaga's in the same category as Banks. It's the axis versus and the one is pressure rate, and their pressure rates are both middle of the road, fine in the NFL. But time to pressure when they allow pressure, they're both allowing the pressure, the two like fastest of any offensive tackle in the
yeah,
league. So
it's what I
that
just
part
said.
looks horrible,
It's just
but
what I
yet,
it's what I just
yeah,
said. It's what I just said. I mean, they're on an island. So
yeah,
it isn't like you're gonna get two people there. You know what I mean? Like there isn't anything slowing them down at all. Like it's just you are the
Yeah.
speed bump. It isn't you and Foster Moreau a lot of times. It isn't, there isn't somebody coming out of the backfield chipping as often. So that would be another thing that would slow someone down, or you got to avoid the running back. Like they are on islands more so than almost everybody in the league. So when they do give up a pressure, it's going to be fast because
Yeah.
there isn't a ton behind them. So yeah, that's where that's kind of coming from. Look, the other piece of this though too is that these like beaten by defender plays where they don't end up into a pressure. There's a lot of them for guys across the line, and I think one of the things that Rattler's doing that's legitimate and is a legitimate plus to his game. He sees that stuff and he keeps himself out of trouble. And I think he does a terrific job at it. I mean, he's got people talking about Torricelli Simpkins as if like it was a viable performance because like he got rid of the ball so fast. But like if you go through and you legitimately look at every play, everybody's role on every play, and it isn't just where pressure's coming from or where this is happening from. Like you're literally just marking down each guy on every single play. Did they give something up? Was it bad? Was it a half bad? I do a bad and a half bad. There were 8 bads in 7 half bads on Simpkins, 0 pressures. And when you look at it, you're like, how the hell does this happen? Oh, well, it's Rattler seeing it and getting rid of it. Rattler's getting out of the pocket and not letting it become a thing. He's doing a tremendous job of keeping these guys just out of bad situations by protecting himself.
Yeah, I do. I agree. That's Rattler's strength. Next guy on our list is Kendre Miller.
Yeah, I buy, and I think Alvin being banged up a little bit. I don't think it's going to affect anything. We'll see day to day this week. But I think it probably allows Kendra to get more spin this week, and I think he should. Look, I want to see it. I buy.
It was it was interesting. A lot of people are starting to be like, "Oh, is there like a shift going on here?" Because he was getting all those carries late in the game. He ended up with 10 carries to Alvin's 8. At halftime, it was Alvin 6 and Kendre 3. So Kendre really got a lot of those carries late in the game. I'm curious how much of that was because they knew Alvin was a little banged up, or if they see Kendre as their closer. But either way, the fact that they put the closer trust in him in this game and he delivered on it, that's going to lead to more opportunities for sure.
Yeah, Alvin got banged up at right before halftime on one of those routes. And if you go look at it, you'll see the play.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of an obvious one. Like when then once you hear it, like he got banged up there. So I think that probably played a part. But look, he's playing awesome. Like he's playing awesome right now. So yeah, I want to keep seeing him do it. Next one, Brzee.
Man, it's hard to doubt. It's hard to doubt because he's doing it. He's doing it on a weekly basis now, and he was actually my candidate for hard hide player of the game. Even though Kool-Aid had the 2 interceptions, because I just thought he showed up like 4 different times in huge moments. I thought his forced fumble was an incredible play, and it was maybe the most important moment of the game because the Giants were threatening to take the lead at that point. But he also had that spin move that you highlighted on social media when you were doing the film study that got them off the field on 3rd down. He had a batted pass. And I think you kind of see him gaining confidence and that leading to more plays as weeks go on. He's probably risen in esteem as much as anyone on this list for me this year.
Big buy, big buy, big buy. Like let me get the options on the next round of stocks too.
Yeah.
I think he's putting it together, man. We got a story on the site. I talked to him quite a bit about like his the science behind him putting together like his plan. Like you see his spin move being timed better and all this stuff. Like and he kind of went into like how it comes together, how he sets up stuff in the run game now, and how he understands that. Like just feels like a maturing player who's just kind of had the physical tools and is starting to get the mental side of it. Like I really I believe like I'm looking at him like someone they should probably invest in at this point. Like I really do believe in him. I think he's a young ascending player. Those are the guys you want to keep on your team.
Huge.
The Saints themselves, will they get another win in the next 2 weeks?
I actually think yes. Partly it's because I like the way they finally got a win and like held on after it was messy for a little while and showed that they could close the deal. I liked coming back out there Wednesday and seeing like the entire team healthy on the injury report, almost like this was like a target date for them. I can't say I don't that they should be favored to beat the Patriots this week or they should be favored to beat the Bears the next week. But I think this team is playing well enough right now that they can win one of the two. I think it gets harder after that. So if this isn't going to be a prolonged losing streak, I think they should better win one of these two.
Call your shot. Which one?
This week.
You're going
2 in a row.
Pats?
Yeah.
All right. My next win that I'm predicting for them, I'm going to go Carolina.
Carolina week 9.
Carolina. Yeah, I'm putting it on the board, man.
Is that week 9 or week 10?
It's on the board. We'll see.
I think that's week 10.
Yeah.
Right before the bye week.
Yeah. I'm going to say Carolina.
Yeah, I get it. That's the next one. If I'm Vegas, that's the next one I'm favoring them in. I'm betting on the NFLing a little bit.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, look, if Chase Young comes out and actually plays well, they might have a shot at it.
Quick question. I was talking to my son about this while we were watching the Patriots beat the Bills on Sunday night. If you're the Saints and you're watching that game, if you're Kellen Moore watching that game, are you rooting for the Patriots to beat Buffalo and have this huge emotional win? So maybe you're their letdown game, or are you rooting for them to lose and kind of like take a little, blow it in the end and maybe lose a little confidence? I ask because I believe in the letdown theory, but then I also know we're talking about this Saints win over the Giants. Like, oh, they can build off this. Now that, this will be a great momentum boost. Like you kind of talk yourself into both narratives.
Yeah. I say lose because I think you just let Drake May have like this game that lets him know that he's like on another level, and I think it's confidence building. You're letting Stephon Diggs get comfortable and against a good opponent. I think that's confidence building for a young team. I think anything that could like rattle them, you probably want them to be rattled. They're 3-2 now.
They just beat the Bills. They did not get rattled last week.
Yeah, I think they're a good team, man. Like like for where they're at, I think, and then it allows them to just like buy more into Vrabel. Like maybe if they're losing games and that, like you're kind of looking at him like he's crazy. So I think it's just all the stuff that we're saying is good for the Saints is also true for them because they're kind of existing in the same plane. So like, oh man, like yeah, they're building on things, and we saw how like a close loss like against Buffalo built a young team's confidence. Imagine if they had beaten them, like they would have been walking around like, yeah, I think it's probably good for them, but we'll see. We're gonna see. But I think if you're the Patriots, you got to let down against the Saints. Like that's tough. Like you haven't gotten anywhere yet, so like that shouldn't even like maybe I think maybe you can catch like Josh Allen and them slipping. Like Drake May's like still have to prove something. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean I can see it either. I can see it either way. All right. Next topic presented by Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant up there on Vets. Go check them out. Tell them I've sent you. Which injury returns make the biggest impact? I think clearly there's a clear one. Chase Young, right?
Yeah, I mean Cesar Ruiz coming back, and look, Justin Reed not missing time with a concussion. It looks like I think they're all candidates. I think they're all candidates for the answer to this question. But yeah, Chase Young, especially since he's missed the whole season. I mean, it's almost like you just signed your biggest free agent this week. I mean, like they've gone through this whole season without Chase Young, and now they get to add Chase Young to a defensive line that's sort of been ascending in recent weeks. The way Carl Granderson's playing, we just talked about Brian Brzee. You've talked about Cam Jordan kind of exceeding expectations, especially in a much bigger role. So he doesn't even have to come in and be a hero. He gets to like work his way into a rotation that's kind of showing some nice things right now. And obviously, I've been talking about it since he first signed in March. Like I'm tantalized to see what Chase Young can look like. I think it stinks that an injury slowed down his progress because the thing I liked most was that he had a fully healthy offseason, and it looked like that was going to do wonders for him. So, we keep waiting to see what we see from the player on the practice field translate into the game. So he's the one I'm most excited to see without question.
Yeah, I can't even put the other guys in the conversation. It has nothing to do about the other guys. Like this is like their pass rush needs help. He should be the most talented player on their defensive line. He's paid to be that. We saw him have a good summer. We see Carl Granderson getting free more and making more plays. We see Cam Jordan getting free more and making more plays in the new front and how they're attacking. Putting Chase Young there, it stands to reason that you're going to get a similar uptick from last year based on just a more advantageous player-friendly scheme. Like it's him. Like, and that has nothing to do with Justin Reed. Has nothing to do with Cesar Ruiz. Like you're adding a guy that I just think has, and he's got to deliver on it, but he has immense potential to be someone that actually he's someone that you could tell me at some point, hey, Chase Young's going to take over a game and it's going to be the reason the Saints win, and it's believable.
Yeah.
I don't think a guard's making that impact. I don't think Reed obviously could at his position, but like he has game record potential. So I'm not saying he's going to do it. I don't know if he's going to do it. We got to see it, but that's how, on the three, it's like, man, if you could pick any one of these three guys to play, I mean, we aren't having a conversation. It's, Chase.
Yeah, no question. No question. Although I do like, with Ruiz coming back, if he plays this week, this will now be the second time only they've gone into a game with their all five starters healthy on the offensive line. And as a unit, I do also want to see that unit take off. The last time they did it was that game where they actually ran the ball really well against Buffalo and believed in their run game. So the healthy offensive line as a unit is a big boon for this team, hopefully.
Yeah. Speaking on before we move off this and hit the break, also I think it's a huge credit to Cesar. Man, he had a high ankle sprain 9 days ago, and he's diagnosed with it 9 days ago, and he's gonna play potentially this weekend. I mean, that's a crazy turnaround. I mean, say whatever you want to say about whatever, like that's a guy fighting to be on the field for his team. Love him, hate him. You gotta love the drive to do that. I mean, that just says a lot, I think, about him and what he is to this team. I think people on that offensive line think a lot of him and his leadership, and I mean, he's shown it there. Obviously, I think the on field, I think he knows it's got to be a little bit better than it has been. So we'll see if he can do that. Coming
more on him in the question of the day today.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna hit a break. We'll be right back. Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center is proud to team up with the NFL and the New Orleans Saints Crucial Catch mission to tackle cancer and save lives. Together, they're helping more people access the tools needed to detect cancer early and promoting prevention and early detection. Learn more at ochsner.org/endcancer.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
in Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
For fans of saving money. For fans of big rewards. For fans of getting more for your money. There's Keesler Federal, the official credit union of the New Orleans Saints. Saints fans, open your free high-earning checking and see what it's like to get better rates, better returns, and better service. Join a winning team. Keesler Federal, the official credit union of the New Orleans Saints. Membership and credit eligibility required. Federally insured by NCUA.
The NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. I don't play favorites with our sponsors on the show, but one of my favorites for sure is RV Masters. You guys have been watching our show lately and you've seen our awesome new van. That thing is decked out. And the best part about it is I took it up to RV Masters and I was like, this is what I want to do, but I had no idea how I wanted to do it or how to get it done. And they took care of it from start to finish, brought me out for updates, were giving me new ideas, and they made it exceed my wildest dreams. And they will do the same thing for you. RV Masters offers full service RV, motorhome, and travel trailer repair. They have preventative maintenance and service packages for your RVs, your AC, your generators. They specialize in solar and lithium upgrades, satellite TV, and Starlink. They'll take care of you if you get into a collision. Whatever you need, they got you. And I can speak from experience because they definitely had us on our new van. I cannot vouch for anyone more than I vouch for RV Masters. RV-Masters.com. Go check them out.
I believe it, I can see it. If it's in my sights, I achieve it. Ain't no leaving, no defeating. Show up, complete and repeat it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Get game ready. Play Game Ready Scratch-Offs and Fast Play from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Enter the second chance drawing for a chance to win up to $1 million.
Yeah, they want me to quit, I can't stop it. I'm out of this world, I'm like a rocket. And you can never be us. We not afraid of the pressure, cause we good in the clutch. Yeah.
Get game ready. Play Game Ready Scratch-Offs and Fast Play from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Enter the second chance drawing for a chance to win up to $1 million.
Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart Agency, is a longtime partner on this podcast, but the truth is, I was advertising them to my friends and everybody I knew long before they ever jumped on this show. And I'm going to tell you why. Every 6 months, my car insurance policy comes up, and every 6 months, I get a call from somebody from there telling me I need to change it or stay where I'm at. They're shopping my policy constantly to make sure I am getting the best possible deal. That means money in the bank. And those are the type of people you love because, look, we all live here. We all know how it is. The insurance rates are out of control. You need somebody watching your back. And they actually really do it. And I was with them before they ever asked me to be with them. So they are people that you need to be doing business with. And if you are going to look up their insurance, make sure you are looking for the Earhart Agency. Those are our guys. There's a lot of Shawbear insurances. The Earhart Agency is the one you want. I can speak for them. Real life, real support, real good business, real money saved. Call them up today. Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart Agency. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County Peach Whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. A delicious natural strawberry-infused 86 proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. All right, welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It is now time for our next topic presented by Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart Agency. You think Taysom will have a bigger role than expected this week?
Yeah, that was a shock to me. Like, I got that completely wrong. I thought Taysom Hill missing all of OTAs, minicamp, training camp for a coaching staff that had never worked with him before. I thought he was going to have to play a more traditional role. Like when did they have time to work on QB power? They never really practiced it. How could they be inventive with him? And he practices for 3 days and he comes into the game and he's like a centerpiece of their game plan. They bring him in on like every short yardage situation. They built a trick play or, a surprise play with him throwing the pass after they set up the run. Like if that's what he did after 3 days of practice, I guess Kellen Moore has and Doug Nussmeier and company have a lot of ideas for Taysom Hill. It surprised me. I thought we were going to see him play a more traditional role as whatever, a tight end or just in small packages. If this is the tip of the iceberg, I think we're going to have another Taysom game at some point this season.
Well, I went ahead and updated this.
No!
And look. What did I say last week? Oh, total. It was just like a total gut feeling. Just a total gut feeling.
Yeah, I watched that back recently and cringed. I was like, well, there's no way Taysom Hill's going to play this week.
No, just a lucky guess. Just a total lucky guess on my part.
Whatever. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Can we re-record?
It's got to hit. It's got to hit more. Look, I thought there was some bad blocking on some of the runs. I thought he looked a little bit slow. I thought he looked like a guy that was coming back from an injury, and it was probably ahead of schedule and probably hadn't fully worked all the rest off and all that stuff. It was underwhelming. I think like the he hit the pass or whatever. But yeah, I think it ramps up at some point again, and I think they'll keep him involved, and I think it'll look better than it did in that game. I think that's probably the worst it's going to look, but. Yeah. I think also it has to be somewhere in mind that, he's 35 and he's coming off a major injury. Like, we'll see what it looks like going forward. I do believe in him though. I believe in him in his ability to get back and be effective and all this stuff. And I think if he is effective, it gives them another element of something they can do to help take some of the pressure off of things. All
Yeah,
right.
obviously 6 carries for -1 yard. It wasn't anything I saw from the performance. It's just I can't believe he got the 6 carries. You know, it's more about, oh, Kellen Moore has real plans for this guy.
All right. Going on to our next topic presented by the Louisiana Lottery, doing some over unders. They've moved a little bit. They're giving Rattler a little bit more yardage. But the numbers still aren't high. The Shaheed number, I think, went up a little bit this week. But let's start with Rattler, 217.5 passing yards.
This might be the first time all season I'm going to take the under. It's the highest number I think we've seen, unless it was higher, like back in week 1. But it had been like 208, and then 204, and then 202, and last week like 198. And I just kept thinking, oh, he'll go over that. But now that they've leapt it up to 217, I also don't think we're going to see when they were playing Buffalo, I thought for sure they'd spend the whole fourth quarter playing catch up. I think this game will probably stay a little closer. I think New England has a tough defense, so this will be the first time I'm taking the under this season.
All right, I'm gonna go over on this one. And I'll tell you why. Like they've allowed 37 explosive passing plays this year. That's the most in the NFL.
All right.
They are allowing a passer rating against of 98.5. That's the 25th worst mark in the NFL. And they have missed 54 tackles. That is the 5th worst mark in the NFL, behind the league leader, New Orleans Saints, who have allowed 59 missed tackles. So, and they disguise their coverages a lot less than other teams in the league, which is something that I think has been beneficial to Rattler when he's run into those types of coverages. It was a big thing last week against the Giants. They don't disguise a lot, and it gave him an opportunity to hit a shot down the field. So that was a good thing. They've used disguise coverages where you kind of go middle of the open field to close. Sorry, I did that backwards. Or close open to the field to open, kind of shifting and rotating those guys, defining it that way. They've used disguise coverage on 62 snaps this year. Their other opponents, the 49ers are at 91, the Seahawks are at 89, the Bills are at 83, and then the Giants, who they hit the 87-yarder against, are at 53. So if they approach it that way, and boy, I would wonder if they do, like they might look at that last game and be like, okay, look, we can kind of create some stuff here to make it harder for them to take shots down the field. But I think if you give him that clean picture and kind of a static look back there, and you aren't rotating a lot, I think he's more apt to take a shot down the field. I don't think the Patriots are going to drastically change their stripes, not to the same rate as like a 49ers them. So I think there's going to be another one of those this week.
Interesting.
And I'm going to take them over.
The Patriots are 26th in the league in passing yards allowed, 4th in rushing yards allowed. So even with the missed tackles, they've had more success against the run this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Drake May, 230.5 passing yards.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, yeah, you've shined a spotlight on how 230 is like the new 300 in the NFL, but yeah, like we said, he's coming into his own. He's coming off a hot game. I think he can get to 230. I wouldn't have given him 250.
I'll go over because it's 287, 230, 268, 203, 273 for him. The only question here is like, are they just able to run the hell out of the ball? Like, do they get a lead? Some of that stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go over on it as well. I'm riding with you on that one. Next one, Rattler, 1.5 passing touchdowns.
I got to take the under on that. Of course, he can do it, but that has been the missing piece so far. So that's the right number that Vegas is putting out there.
Yeah, I'm going under. 1.5. Yeah, I mean, he hit 3 against the 49ers, 0 against the Cardinals, 1 each in all the other games. Got to see it again.
Yep.
Shaheed, 46.5 receiving yards.
That's my easy over every week because I think he has 2 paths to get there: the deep pass or the heavy volume adding up. Obviously, he doesn't do it every week, but that's the one. This is the one I feel most confident in every single week.
I'm going over on it because I got him, hitting the deep shot this week. Olave, 57.5.
Boy, that's the right number. It feels like he hits that exact number every single week, but I'll go over. We're overdue for an Olave game.
What's an Olave game look like in 2025?
I don't know. He's getting the target volume. He might be leading the NFL in targets. I'm going to look that up while we're talking. But 100 yards and a touchdown at some point. That's perfectly within his means. He was doing it. He was doing it 5 times a season earlier in his career. And I know NFL offense has changed. This particular offense and the volume of passing offense has changed, but he's getting the opportunities. He just needs to sneak in a 30-yarder or a 40-yarder in addition to the heavy volume catches he's getting. He's going to have a 100-yard game this week. There we go. Put it on the board.
Okay. All right. Look, I was actually, my next question was going to be, is there a 100-yard game for any Saints receiver this season with Rattler at quarterback? And I'm saying no.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the line of thinking, especially while those two guys are both on the field together, because they chip into each other's totals. And if there's only 200 to go around for the whole team, how does one of those guys take more than half of it?
You want me, you're standing on it?
I'm not I'm making it as like one of those bold predictions.
All right,
I'm not saying I'm 100% sure it's going to happen, but I'm just seeing it happen. That's real analysis right there. I'm seeing it.
All right,
I've got a gut feeling.
The bold take, 100, Chris Olave. It'd be good for him. He needs to feel that.
Yeah.
Like it'd be really, really good for him. All right, we're gonna hit a quick break. We'll be right back. Big news from the home team. Introducing our newest sponsor, the Mortgage Brothers. With over 30 years of combined experience, the Mortgage Brothers are the quarterbacks of home lending, calling the right plays to get you across the goal line. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned vet, they'll coach you through every down and make sure you feel like part of the team. They're backed by Cross Country Mortgage, the #1 retail lender in the nation, so there's no loan playbook they can't run. FHA, VA, conventional, RD, and more. They're lifelong season ticket holders, local guys who know the field and your market, and their online application takes less than 10 minutes. Why fumble your mortgage with some online lender who's never even watched your team play? Stick with the Mortgage Brothers, the trusted pros who play to win. Mention NOF and get $500 back in lender credit toward your closing costs. That's money back in your pocket when it counts. Visit mortgagebros.money and start shopping with confidence. Because with Mortgage Brothers, it's always no flags, no fumbles, just smooth closings every single time.
Score big with kickoff combos at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company. Don't pass on your choice of our seafood combos or our slider specials. Served with a side of garlic herb fries. Run in now for specials starting at $9.99 at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
You ever take a bite of something and immediately think, yeah, I'm coming back for this? Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant just added some new dishes, and man, they crushed it. The shrimp and crawfish pistolettes, golden and stuffed with bold Cajun flavor. Fried oyster tacos, crispy, fresh with the perfect kick. And the soft shell crab Alfredo, creamy, rich, and absolutely worth the order. They're open 7 days a week, and they deliver late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Whether you are a local New Orleanian or a fan in town for the game, get your pre- and post-game fired up at Aaron Rose. Local chaos and local love for the black and gold. Wake up and live with daily drink specials, mimosas, screwdrivers, Bloody Marys, and hot or frozen Irish coffees, all just $3 or $4 between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Aaron Rose, half a block from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, 811 Conti Street. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com. All right, welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It is now time for the Get Gordon question of the day, presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Mike, what is the question?
All right, so I was going through our mentions looking for a good question, and I noticed you had 53 replies on Twitter X to just mentioning, what a good job Cesar Ruiz did returning from his injury so quickly and showing the dedication.
Yeah, I muted that.
And
I muted that thread. Yes.
yeah, it was met with about 50 replies of, "Oh, he's worried about losing his job. The only reason he's back is because he sees Torricelli Simpkins is about to steal his job." Has this narrative gone too far? Look, great. Simpkins, undrafted rookie, makes the team, steps in a pinch. He is showing that he is an undrafted rookie and the highs and lows that come with that. Cesar Ruiz, yes, there are some plays out there that show that he was struggling, a lot of them in the preseason and early this season. But have we gone too far in being like, oh, Cesar Ruiz stinks now and Torricelli Simpkins is great now?
I think it sucks. Like, honestly, like I think this narrative sucks. I think it sucks that we got to talk about it. I think it sucks that it becomes a thing because Torricelli Simpkins is a UDFA that's playing because two other guys are hurt, and he got through a Giants game without giving up a sack, and that should be a commendable thing, and it should just end there. Hey, look, he did a good job there. He stood into a spot and he got through it, and it wasn't a disaster. And I think the way he's playing, it should be a bright spot. But when it goes so over the top and it becomes like this weaponized thing to tear down a guy that like people don't like, and I understand all the opinions on everything. I think it sucks because then it makes you say like, well, no, it wasn't that good. Like, and nobody's trying to tear him down. I think isolated outside of social media, my take on Torricelli Simpkins would be he's a UDFA on it might have been the first freaking mini camp or OTA that we were out there. We're like, oh, dark horses. And it was like,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, Simpkins can move well. I think he might be a guy that could make the team. We haven't seen him block anything, but he's a guy to keep an eye on. And now he's on the team. Like, I think he's a guy with a lot of potential. I think he could really develop into something. I think he has a shot to be a player, but I think right now he's a UDFA without a lot of experience. And I think it sucks that like there's a buildup that just is being created and then inevitably, if he plays, he's going to give up a play or something, and then people are going to tear him down because all these people build him up, and it's not really being done in good faith. Like, I think it sucks just to put that on somebody, because it just distorts what the conversation should be, and he should just be able to be a UDFA. He should be able to develop, and we should be able to celebrate like, hey, he stood in there and held it down. Good for him. Hopefully he keeps developing and we see what happens next. Like, I think that's how the conversation should be had. But like, is he stealing a job from anybody right now? No, he's not. He could in time, but today, no.
Just before we go, I said I was going to look up Chris Olave's targets. He's second in the NFL. And funny enough, he's got 54 targets, 6 more than the number 3 receiver, his old college teammate, Garrett Wilson. But he is still 8 behind the league leader, Puka Nacua, with 62 targets this year.
He is a monster, man.
Oh,
one of the best finds of 5th rounder, right? One of the best finds of all time. Like, unbelievable. All right. Going to do it for today's show. We'll talk to you again after the game.